Hello, I am Paul Amadeus Lane, and welcome as we talk about some of the great things going on with our friends over at Quantum Rehab. If you haven't checked out the website yet, make sure you do. quantumrehab.com. You can check out some of the cool features, some of the cool wheelchairs that we have there, and how you can be at eye level if you aren't already. I'm rolling in an Edge HD, and I love it. Have the backup camera, and I'm a pretty large guy. So this chair is comfortable. It makes me feel just more independent. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it does. I mean, I can reach certain things. I can do all these great things. I can raise myself high enough so I can sit under a bar table. We'll talk about that another day. But hey, what I wanted to do was chat about the process before we get these great chairs that we can use. There's a process that goes on, and the research and development department, the R&D department over at Quantum Rehab, do some amazing things. Why don't we check in with them and get a little glimpse of the inside workings of it and how they come to the agreement or the decision to put some of this great innovation out there for you and I. I am so happy to have with me right now Vice President of Research and Development at Quantum, the great Mike Vandeveer. Mike, what is going on, my friend? How are you?
Not much, Paul. How you doing, man? How you been?
Doing fantastic. Doing great, man. Always great when I get a chance to chat with my good friends over at Quantum because, to me, just the innovation game that you guys have been able to do has just been phenomenal. And I talked about this before I brought you on, Mike, about me being a wheelchair user over 28 years and just seeing the changes and innovation over the years. But not only that, once I got into like tech and accessibility and everything, I really saw what goes into something like this, Mike. So I'm glad we're having this conversation because as wheelchair users, sometimes we can just look at the finished product, but there's a lot that goes in before it hits the market. So
sure.
Before we chat about that, Mike, let us know all that you do over at Quantum.
Yeah, sure thing. So my name is Mike Vandeveer, VP of R&D at Quantum. I've been with Quantum for 14 years. I started here pretty much right out of college with an engineering degree from Penn State. Prior to that, I had lots of internships with lots of different manufacturing houses, some automotive places, stuff like that. But I really wanted to get into the medical market, the medical field. An opportunity came up with Pride and Quantum. At the time, it was really more, Quantum was just starting to kind of become its own division within Pride. So started there, moved around within the organization a little bit, climbed the ladder. And as of now, 14 years later, I'm overseeing the entire Quantum R&D development team. So that consists of lots of product management team members, lots of engineering and design team members too. So heavy focus on mechanical aspect, obviously, given what we do, electrical systems, motors, firmware, software, the whole shebang. Then the massive part of it's our design element too. It's one thing to have a product that functions, great. That's really what we need at the end of the day, what our users need at the end of the day. But it needs to look good. It needs to function well. It needs to fit in with the normal daily routine of our users. It can't just be this blob that sits there. So yeah, overall, it's the full kind of picture beginning to end on what is what a product is, how it comes to life, bring it to manufacturing, and ultimately being able to provide it for our users.
I am so glad you said that, Mike, because you realize, and our good friends over at Quantum and Pride, that we need to look good in our wheels, and we're so glad that that you guys have taken that responsibility to make sure that we can. Because I remember the first chair that I had, Mike, it's like somebody just threw it together, and it was like, but I like to coordinate. I love colors. I love all these different things.
Yeah.
And Mike, over the years that you've been in this industry, what has been the biggest jump in innovation or in R&D that you saw or witnessed personally over the 14 years you've been here?
Oh, that's a good question. Innovation beyond like the norm, and I know that's probably not the answer that you're looking for, because it's not nothing super specific. But a wheelchair is a relatively straightforward product at the end of the day. The customers that it serves, though, there's a multitude of ranges that we're trying to hit with our product to achieve the customers, the end users, goals, what they need to get out of this product. So with that in mind, it's lots of little things. As of the latest and greatest thing would be like a backup camera. iLevel's been something we've been talking about for a long time now. It's what are those little things that we can do to a power chair, which again is pretty relatively straightforward system. What can we do to a power chair to make it that much better for an end user? How do we give them as much as we can out of this product to enrich their lives as much as possible? How do we do that? I'd love to make a flying power chair, but from a cost standpoint, it just doesn't make sense. From a functional standpoint, there's a lot of logistical things that just don't work there. But little things all start to add up, and that's really what we focus on. We start looking at those little nuggets over and over and over again. What can we do to our existing products to make them a little bit better? Add them to new products and just keep developing and developing. It's a very, very iterative process. So I know, Paul, it might not be the answer, like the big wow factor that you were looking for, but that's very much what we focus on is those small incremental changes over and over again.
No, I'm glad you did, because it was an answer that is just real talk,
Mhm.
and really things that we can understand. I'm glad that you shared that with us, because the backup camera, I love my backup camera. The
Yep.
iLevel, I love my iLevel, and for someone who started off in a power chair that only had a recline and that was it, to
Yep.
where we're at today, we have seat elevation, we have the iLevel, we have the leg elevation. We have all these different things that help us out. I mean, what you guys have done over the years, Mike, has really impacted us,
Mhm.
to give us a more fuller life. I look at the iLevel, especially for someone my size, 6'6", over 300 pounds. There's no other chair out there that I can drive while elevated.
Mhm.
But lo and behold, you
It's
guys
there.
you guys did that for us, for
Yep.
me, and that is so awesome. And when we look at you guys like being the first to do that, I mean, no other chair is doing that now. I know others are talking about doing it, but
Mhm.
what was it about the R&D team over at Quantum that you guys were like, we can make this happen now before everyone else? I don't want you to share any of the secrets, but
Yeah, no, I got you. I got you. The resources that we have kind of at our of like immediate disposal are pretty awesome. We treat safety as our number one priority. And the first, I'll be perfectly honest, when the idea of iLevel first kind of popped up, moving your center of gravity on this power base, 10 or 12 inches up in the air and moving around at high speeds, or somewhat high speeds, that's a physics problem that just spells disaster real quickly. So we had to make sure that without a doubt we were never going to compromise on the safety or the integrity of the system, and ultimately the user because of the system. So we really wanted to make sure that we were tackling not just a product that was cool and had all these kind of features baked into it, but how was it cool? How is it going to be able to kind of enrich the user's life, and how is it going to do it so incredibly safe that there wasn't a doubt in anyone's mind that it wouldn't be anything other than perfectly safe. So there's a lot of prototyping, a lot of iterative kind of back and forth, changing things. We have an awesome test team in house. We have a test lab right behind me in this wall over here, about half the size of a football field. Where we, the R&D team and our test team and our quality teams, all different kind of teams can go in there and try new prototypes. You look at existing problems. Look at existing ways to make new solutions, new products coming out. So this the ability for us to very quickly diagnose problems or potential issues during the prototype phase, because we have a test lab in house, we can do all this stuff in house. We don't have to go outside for it. Is super beneficial. It just makes it so quick too. I mean, like stupidly quick.
That's awesome, and I can't wait to one day check out your test lab because
Yeah.
I'll be like a kid at Toys R Us in there. I was like,
Yep.
oh,
Oh,
what is
it's
this?
a good time.
Or I'll be like Baby Yoda. You be like, Paul, don't touch that. Don't touch that over there. I'm all trying to touch everything. You know what? I wanted to share something. I was looking at the website, the Quantum Rehab website, and just some of the comments that ones have had who have the Edge 3 iLevel.
Mhm.
This one person said, I am able to cook, pick fruit from a tree, wash car.
Mhm.
And for ones who are not a part of the disabled community, they may not realize just how important that is to us. And again, Mike, hats off to you and the team, for having this innovative mind and putting this out here so that we can, that we can benefit from it. We really appreciate that, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it's we're here to serve our users at the end of the day. We are all about making, like I said, we want to make a badass product. We want to make the best product out there. We want to make the best product for our users. They're the folks that really matter. You guys are in this chair, all day long. How are we going to make it integrate and be a part of your environment and make it less noticeable, less seen, less cumbersome? How do we make it as seamless as possible?
I love it. So, Mike, I'm kind of nosy. So,
Yeah.
got any new things we can talk about?
Oh yeah, man. We got all kinds of new stuff to talk about.
A huge shout out to Mike Vandeveer, VP of R&D at Quantum Rehab. Enjoy chatting with Mike about some of the great things that they do behind the scenes. And it's cool to be educated on things like that, isn't it? And so happy that they are happy to talk with us and be transparent about these interworkings. Really appreciate that. I'm going to have Mike on again. I'm going to chat with him about the backup camera. If you don't have one, you don't know what you're missing. So I'll chat with Mike about that on our next time we're able to chat. Well, take care, folks. Don't forget, go to the website, quantumrehab.com. You can find out some of the cool things that's going on with the company. And also you can find out how ones like myself are enjoying life at iLevel and hear some great stories as well. Talk to you next time.